interested in the safety in our community. In light of recent events, public surveillance is a very controversial subject. Some are in favor of increased security, whether it be through publicly owned security cameras, body cameras on police officers, or through privately owned security cameras in stores. Should we push to get private business owners to place public security cameras on their private land, or should we rely on their pre-existing security systems?
I don't know. I think you should rely on both of them just because you need as many sources as you can get. But I think private cameras are not as reliable as public cameras just because you don't know if they're actually filming what's happening or not.
Over the past few years, there have been many concerns about the safety of the downtown mall. Recent kidnappings of Morgan Harrington and Hannah Graham have called into question whether or not more security cameras needed to be installed around local college student hotspots. There's been much debate over whether or not downtown security should be reliant on businesses' private security systems. Some argue that the installation of public security cameras would violate the business's privacy, while others believe that more security cameras can help prevent future crimes and solve current and previous crimes. Has Bagby's had any security issues in the past?
We've had a few break-ins, but we've dealt with that.
Nice. How do you feel about the security in general downtown?
I think we could benefit from some more foot patrols, community policing, that type of thing.
And how do you feel about implementing publicly funded / city police cameras being placed throughout the downtown mall?
I have no problem with that.
How would you feel if they're placed all throughout the city?
I have no problem with that.
All right. In terms of ownership of the cameras, would you rather trust the city and public to fund and place the program, or would you rather leave it to business owners like yourself to buy and place their own security cameras?
Well, I did buy and place my own security cameras, but no, I think it's in the public's interest to pay for them and maintain them and monitor them.
Which do you think would be more reliable, private or public?
We've had no problem with that. I don't know. I think probably about the same.
Okay. Do you think public cameras are an invasion of privacy?
No, the Supreme Court's already ruled on that. There's no expectation of privacy when you're in a public space.
All right. And on the topic of Hannah Graham and Morgan Harrington's cases, do you think security cameras could have helped aid the investigation or even prevent the crimes altogether?
I don't think anything could prevent the crimes, but I think it probably would have been a lot easier to catch the guy sooner if we'd had more video footage of him walking on the mall.
Some stores may not like these cameras. Increased security raises questions about privacy. Many stores prefer to rely on their own cameras for security and feel uneasy about a possible increase in public cameras. When the city requests that stores place cameras on their private property, they might not want to deal with the hassle that comes with the public cameras. Anything that ends up on the camera is fair game to the city in any type of situation. Many store owners like the privacy of using their own recording devices.
It would be great to leverage what's already there in place that's privately owned. But you don't have to give me access to that footage. And I would have to seek the remedies of the court, and to do that I'd have to have a matter before the court. The court wouldn't necessarily have jurisdiction to issue an order, but so it's more difficult to be able to access that information. We've been very fortunate in many cases. We've had the property owners said absolutely you can look at it. We have property owners that will give us web-based access to their systems to the extent we need them. But I can't, and I can't also attest to the reliability of those systems, the quality of the images they produce, or how those images are maintained within the system for security purposes, whether the image has been altered, whether someone could have altered the image. I can't attest to the kinds of things that for court purposes and evidentiary purposes someone might need to come in and attest to. If it were my system, our systems are sophisticated enough that we would be able to have the ability to do that, I would hope. It's harder to do with a privately owned system.
So the publicly funded ones are much more reliable?
Well, I can control the reliability or the quality of the equipment. I can't tell you what to buy if you're the business owner and you want to put CCTV in your business.
Right.
You could have the best system around, I just can't control that.
I got you.
I have no way of being able to control that, so I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know how reliable the image is going to be. I look at video and still images all the time from shoplifting cases, and people try to hold up stores, and we send those images out internally to officers and say, do you recognize this person? And I'm like, is it a person? I mean, it looks like an image, but I can't, is it an animal or a vegetable? I can't tell, right? But then some of them, you look at them and you're like, wow, that's a really good system. You just can't control it. There's no consistency. If we were able to do that, then the ideal system would be a public-private venture.
There are many reasons why people would be in support of an effort to increase security footage in small towns. Most often, cameras are seen as a way to deter crime and make customers feel safe. Many business owners who support the installation of cameras believe it would encourage customers to shop in the area. According to Rasmussen reports, 70% of people are in favor of increased security footage. If the cameras are publicly funded, it may subtract a cost business owners would normally be expected to pay as well.
Right now, the cost that we're looking at is between $100,000 and $150,000 to have them installed, to purchase them and have them installed in downtown.
Alright, are there any,
But we won't know that for sure until we bid the project. And when I say bid the project, we'll put it out there that we want to have this done, and then people will send in proposals, and so we'll go through a process at that point. But we anticipate it's going to be in that range.
yeah.
A lot of concerns because everything you're doing is being watched. I mean, you're talking that when you talk about surveillance cameras, you're not talking about what's, let's say, on a downtown mall in Charlottesville or in New York City or on the light post. With body cameras now, policemen are going to have surveillance cameras. The policemen all across the country have been given license plate readers by the federal government. They read all your license plates, and the Drug Enforcement Agency admits, this is a federal agency, that they can see inside your car now, see your face. So most of this stuff is coming equipped with facial recognition software. Churches across the United States also have, a number of your large churches now have surveillance cameras in them. They have facial recognition software, so they're tracking wherever you go. So what we're creating is a system where there is absolutely no privacy. There are a lot of people and groups argue that if you're in public, there is no expectation of privacy. I've always disagreed with that argument, and let me give you an example. Let's say I'm walking through Charlottesville, wherever, and there's surveillance cameras, or in New York City, and my wife and I are arguing. Just me and her, no one can hear us but each other. The surveillance camera is reading our lips, which a lot of technology allows that. What we're saying is private. I'm not announcing it to the police, to you, or to anyone. I consider that private. Let's say I'm a politician and I have an alcohol problem, and I'm going to try to get rid of it and cure it. That's my private business. And I go into Alcoholics Anonymous. Surveillance cameras watch that. That goes to the government now. And a number of agencies, by the way, if you look from the Nixon administration on, they blackmail people when they find out politicians have this kind of information, and they use it against them. So what we are creating, and I call this in my writings in my most recent book, Battlefield America, and I'd be glad to send you guys a copy if you want it, is an electronic concentration camp where nothing is private. With a lot of smart television sets now, and they warn you that when you're in the room talking, it's recorded, and the Department of Homeland Security can actually tap into that to find out what you're saying in your own private living room. So I would say that these surveillance cameras are the first step to what George Orwell warned about in his book 1984, and that is you have to live with the expectation that everything you're doing is being watched.
There's varying research as to whether or not public video surveillance systems actually prevent crime. I think there's more reliable information that would suggest that it helps in the investigation of crime, or what I call the retrospective investigation of crime, and it clearly did in Hannah Graham's case. I can't tell you whether it would have or not in Morgan's case, because I think we're speculating as to where that encounter may have initially taken place, and whether that area would have been an area that would have benefited from video surveillance technology. I think we saw it with Hannah. I mean, we had privately owned systems that helped us more quickly put pieces together that might have taken us days to put together. But again, I'm speculating as to how helpful it was.
Usually the problem with cameras is they don't prevent crime. They occasionally solve a crime, but not always. The most extensive study done on surveillance cameras came out of Great Britain in 2005. It has more cameras per footage than anybody in the world. and their conclusion was that they don't prevent crime, they actually displace it to areas where there are no surveillance cameras. So
Our question is, should we rely on pre-existing security systems downtown?
So our answer is no. We should not rely on privately owned security cameras. We should invest in publicly owned security cameras for the benefit of security of the downtown mall and surrounding areas.
So basically, for our action plan, we created a petition to be signed by residents who frequently go to the downtown mall and who are in favor of increasing the amount of cameras and updating the security system for the downtown mall.
In order to follow through with our action plan, we're attending the City Council meeting on May 16th. I believe that's a Monday. And we're hopefully going to get picked by their lottery system to speak in front of them and just show them our petition and our research on the subject.
As part of our government class throughout this school year, we have been researching and conducting interviews relating to surveillance on the downtown mall. This subject has been especially concerning to us as young students who often frequent the downtown area, despite tragedies like that of Hannah Graham. Along the way, we have talked to many intelligent people, including Mr. Jones, who all have had lots to say on the subject. Although not everyone we have talked to has been in full support of security cameras, we have come to our own conclusion. We as a group are happy with the current measures being taken to increase security on the downtown mall, and we'd like to thank you and any other city employees for having our best interests at heart. Thank you for your time.
Thank you all.